Hey you guys, it's Tyree. Welcome back to another episode of Lot Pop Talks. Uh this episode I wasn't quite sure I even wanted to do. I don't know. The last couple days, last couple weeks for me have been both exciting and yet terrifying. And follow with a hint of disappointment, maybe hurt feelings. Not so much for being, on the podcast and stuff like that and the content that I'm throwing up for you guys, but what it means to be a man, a black man who is living in this era, sticking to the word of God, holding on to the covenant of a marriage, to know what it's like to lose what you thought was a solid foundation in your home, what it was like to gain it back, and how hard and how desperately men try to find some type of equilibrium or some type of happy space where you could both live, prosper, and grow. The stories in the news about men who are being shot, injured, killed, whatever the case may be, when it comes to the police and the relationship with black men in particular, there's a lot to be said as far as where things are going, whether the reasons behind the violence are justified or not justified, what comes off as hate, resentment, some type of contempt for each other as a people, those who wear the uniform of blue and those who have to walk around in brown and black skin. It's just, there's some days where it's hard. It's hard to face that type of reality and find it within you, or to spend time with God to understand and really muse to yourself, like, what's the point? Do I give up? Should I stop? Who wants to be with somebody that doesn't want to be with you? Why be a part of a country that could care less what happens to you, what happens to your offspring, what happens to your life you're trying to build, the American dream, the promise that's out there? Sometimes I ask myself, was I sold a bag of lies? More and more every day, people are finding reasons to justify ending a marriage, to avoid creating something that could be beautiful, something that could be great and beneficial not only to our lives, but our cultures and our neighborhoods and our communities and for our children. There's a lot of distractions out in this world. And I guess this episode is just me being a little more transparent with you guys about how this works. I am, for all intents and purposes, tired. I'm angry. I'm hurt. And sometimes I want to give up. But I feel like these same feelings and thoughts that I have, this is the battle that I was groomed to be involved in, that I can't turn my eyes and my ears away from what's being said and what's being done. I can't just give up and wait for things to end, for one day for the world to wake up and say, oh, we care about you, black man. We care about the fact that you want your family. We care about the fact that you want to raise your children. We care about the fact that you want your wife, that you want your wives, that black women, that you want your husbands. Sometimes it's hard when it feels like no one else cares but you. Over the weekend, you probably guys have had to have possibly heard by now, but we lost a great actor, a good husband. Chadwick Boseman passed away with, I believe they said it was colon cancer, and he was diagnosed 4 years ago. Now, I've seen most of his movies, not everything. I've seen most of his movies, but the one that stood out to me, obviously, the most was Black Panther. Black Panther is an old school comic book character that when I was growing up and I was introduced to comics by my uncle, I really did not pay that much attention to, just like any like Iron Man and Captain America. It's just I wasn't into that. I was more so into X-Men and stuff like that. But seeing on film, on the big screen, the possibilities of a community, of a people, of a culture, of a place that all types bought in to make their world a better place. And the honest truth is that there was a lot of ugly behind it. Married couples, separated, divorced, people put on a smile when the camera's on. You snap your best photo and you upload it to Instagram or Facebook. You upload cute videos to YouTube. And they say, "Whoa, those are a cute couple. Those are, nothing to ever tear them apart. They're so lucky. They work out, and people want what you have." But no one knows, or at least in your close circle or outside of your close circle, know what it is that you're dealing with behind closed doors in the wee hours of the night, when you're going to see your counselor, when you're going to see your reverend, your pastor, your ministers. Nobody sees that. Not many people knew about Mr. Boseman's situation. And he didn't let on either. Standing for your marriage, we're advised to wash our face, to put on our best self, and to move forward in spite of what's happening all around us, that we are not to look like what we've been through. And I totally agree with that notion, and I agree with that because it shows that there is something greater to believe in and to humble yourself towards and to work on that isn't necessarily something you have control over. Mr. Boseman did not have control over his illness, but he did what he could with what he had, and he put his best self forward. That man used his position, used his resolve, and showed us through his work, more specifically his role as Black Panther, what it's like to see a leader who has had his people behind him, to see that there's something in place when a man knows that he has his people has his back, that the whole is greater than the sum of the individual. As a grown man watching that film, comic book or not, it felt good. It felt good. Watching Fireproof, if you guys haven't, it's a movie about a husband fighting for his wife when in all intents and purposes he should have lost her. It felt good to see that a man could put himself behind someone or a group of people that he cares about long enough for them to feel special enough to continue allowing that man to lead by rite of passage and trial by fire. In both films, Fireproof and Black Panther, the protagonists earned their spots. Men spend their entire lives, at least the men who are worth anything, spend their lives trying to prove either to themselves or their families or their fears or their dreams that they're worth the opportunity. To see it on film felt good to me. That's why when I heard about Chadwick's death, it felt like another reminder that no matter what you're chasing, no matter how much money you make or the people you know, life is fleeting. And that's going to happen whether you stand and fight or completely give up. But no one's going to talk about at what point did you give up. They're going to talk about how that man carried himself no matter what was happening to him or all around him. That is why I'm making this podcast now. If you're listening to this podcast, you happen to be a man, women, I am so glad you're here listening to this podcast, but I am talking to the fellas. If you're fighting for your marriage and what you believe in, maybe you're standing for your marriage, maybe you're just trying to improve yourself. Maybe you're wondering where the support comes from for a man, or maybe you just stumbled upon this video. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Adapt, change accordingly, continue to learn, remain humble, but love. And love without fear. I don't feel like Mr. Bossman's death is the end of what black men or black people could be. I think it's another case of passing on the torch. I feel like when I watch that film or when I think about the work, this is where it could be. But it's up to you. It's up to you to carry it on. My brothers, all of my brothers, those who feel like they're not where they could be or should be in life, and those who feel like they're worth reaching and going after what it is that they want. Don't stop. Pick up the torch. Carry the baton. Pass it to another brother. Pass it to your family, your friends, your children, your sons, your daughters. Pass it to your wife. But don't stop, because there is something out there. There is a better day. There's a better light. They have shown us. They've lit the way. We just got to walk the walk. The same thing can be said for your marriage. Just walk the walk. We know that it's scary if you're going through a divorce. We know how much it hurts inside to see lawyers and paperwork and court dates and all of that, but press on. Press on. Chadwick Boseman dealt with this situation as privately as he could. In honor of his life, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all of those who are dealing with something in private, in silence. I want to say thank you to those who have made their circle small but intimate and are willing to do the work, are willing to put their best self forward. I want to say thank you. It makes us human. It makes us vulnerable, but it keeps us moving forward. It keeps us being honest and humble in our work. There's another generation coming up behind us. Fellas, there's another generation coming up behind us. Male, female, sons or daughters, it really doesn't matter. You're an example. You're an example for both. Father God, I thank you. I thank you for what has happened. I thank you for what has not happened. This year has definitely been a test. It's not even over yet. This year has been the biggest test of my adult life. I can only imagine what it is like for listeners and viewers, Father God. It has been a trying year. And I'm going to continue walking with you, that I am guided towards your light. Because I believe that I'm here, that they are here, because it's not over for us. Better, more significant days are coming. And we can reach those days as long as we're not afraid and we're not too hurt. The fact that we're beaten, we might feel raggedy and not ourselves, is not a reason to stop moving forward. To my brothers, don't give up. I know what it looks like out there. I know what it looks like. I'm listening. I'm tuned in. I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like to feel like you're not worthy of the love you want. For people to look at you and look over you, look through you, look past you, to not even consider you. Let's stop highlighting those people. Let's stop highlighting what it's like to feel inadequate. Let's stop letting our anger get the best of us. Let's stop letting fear stop us from being our best selves. Look yourself in the mirror, whether it be today or tomorrow, right now if you can. Your life means something. Your skills have impact. If you're not where you want to be, put yourself on the path to start making your way there. Your life is yours and you only get one. Press on forward. Press on with purpose. A quote from Chadwick Boseman.